All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Joe Criado. This is my final project presentation for Engineering 100 Intro to Engineering. I apologize, my voice is all jacked up. I've been sick the past couple days, so I'm trying to get through this. Please bear with me. So today, my partner and I, Mr. Jinhao Liu, I hope I said his name right, we will be designing a toy water gun. It is a take off the Nerf product Super Soaker. We call it the Sorta Soaker. I thought it was kind of a funny title. So basically my design, so we're going over my design first. My design will be a larger framed toy. So just like a regular weapon, a shotgun, rifle, whatever, it will have a shoulder stock. Now the reasoning for the larger body, larger frame is it actually makes it easier to manipulate, easier to shoot, easier to hold. Sometimes these smaller weapon type looking toys are difficult to maneuver, difficult to hold, difficult to aim. So this will be a full size looking toy, and we're going to make sure that it doesn't resemble so much of an actual weapon to so law enforcement does not get confused. If you look at my page here, you'll see an actual Super Soaker. If you notice their water reservoir up on top, it is horizontal. Now at some point when the water starts to run out, you're not going to be able to use all that water because of the design of the horizontal reservoir, I want to call it. Our design, or my design, will have a vertical water reservoir. That way gravity takes over, it pulls all the water down, and you can make maximum usage of the water that you already have. I don't have a picture of it, but my design, my picture, will have a CO2 cartridge embedded in the back of the shoulder stock. Now the CO2 cartridge, if you've ever had a BB gun or a pellet gun when you were a kid, you used to buy these little silver cylinders that had CO2 air inside of them. My design will have the CO2 embedded in the back to utilize that powerful airstream that will ultimately mix with the water through some metal tubing on the inside of the toy itself. The air will ultimately push the water up and out the front of the toy, utilizing a typical trigger mechanism. Now, because of this CO2 powered airstream, it's going to push the air out with a little more power, a little more oomph. What that's going to do is that's also going to create some distance, and it's actually going to start using less water when it actually fires. So less water every time you pull that trigger, which means that your water reservoir is actually going to last you a little bit longer for less reloading. The toy itself is again using 3D printing technology. It will be thicker. It will be a little heavier, just for the mere fact of the thicker material and some of the metal components that will be on the inside, such as the tubing for the CO2 cartridge. Now, heavier doesn't necessarily mean it makes it harder. Believe it or not, a heavier material will make it a little bit more stable for use. With that in mind, some of the benefits can be some of the difficulties, though. The weight, for example, although yes, it will be more stable, because of the weight itself, it's natural. It's going to be too heavy for some people. After a while, your arms can start getting tired, and your aiming is going to be all out of whack. So another problem will be corrosion. Using metal parts, metal pieces, it's going to be prone to corrosion. So at some point, the inside of it's going to have to be wiped down or lubed or something like that. The CO2 cartridges themselves are rather small. They're only a couple inches in length, so you will have to be carrying extra cartridges. I believe my design for this, you'll actually probably be needing more CO2 cartridges and changing them more often. You will be reloading with water. With that in mind, you'll also need to be carrying both with you. If you're out, playing with your friends or whatever, instead of having the need to carry around just extra water, now you will also have to be carrying around extra CO2 cartridges. So anyway, that's going to conclude my portion of the slideshow here. I am now going to turn it over to my partner, Jianhao Liu. And again, I hope I said your name right, no disrespect intended. He is going to come on now, and he's going to introduce his own design on another gun, another toy. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of the presentation, and good luck on your grades. And I hope everyone has a pleasant evening. Have a good night, everybody.